Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see you all here. Happy fall, everyone. Today is the first day of fall, I think. I think I got that right. I don't know. You know, sometimes I surf on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, and I see, hey, happy fall. And I don't know if it was yesterday or after midnight, but happy fall. Today in Wisconsin, it is a brisk 57 degrees and it is sweater weather. So it's starting to feel good out there. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and it's wonderful to see all of you from all over the United States and all over the world joining us. Today, I have probably the most fun technique that I've done in so long. I had so much fun with this. I was just playing around with it, and it kind of just happened. So I thought I would share it with you today. I've done something similar to this in the past, but not quite like this. And this to me just blows that other technique away. So I think you're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be using stencils and blending brushes and some ink pads today. So if you're playing along, you can gather those supplies. And let's say hi to Tom. Tom, how are you today?
Hello. I'm doing great today.
You
feeling
look
much younger today.
Yes, me too. I'm feeling younger as well. So if you don't know what we're talking about, yesterday here at our place of business, our entire staff, including Tom and I, dressed up. Not everybody dressed up, but almost everybody did. Dressed up as older people, older than you. When they first said dress up like an old person, I thought I am an old person, but then we kind of clarified older than you. So we had a lot of fun, and I posted a bunch of pictures from yesterday's event over on Facebook in our Facebook group, Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. So if you get a chance, check those photos out. The funniest photo of all is Tom in his bald cap with his ring of gray hair and his grumpy old man expression. So if you haven't seen that, you got to get over there. I know a lot of you did, because a lot of you were sending messages and making funnier comments than the pictures, actually. So, all right. Well, let's get started with today's technique, shall we? So to begin, I have a piece of cardstock here. Now, this is the 120-pound Gina K Designs white cardstock. Normally, I use the 80-pound, but I found that I really liked this technique so much, and I thought it would actually make a really cool postcard. So if you decide you want to make it as a postcard, use our heavier base weight white cardstock to do this, and it will be, you know, super sturdy for using as a postcard. If not, you can certainly use our 80-pound as well. And one more thing, let's go back to the front shot, because I wanted to get this in early. One more thing that I've been getting a lot of messages about this, where people are missing the quotes that I used to do. And some of you had said that you didn't really care for the quotes. And then a bunch of you said, well, we really like them, so please don't stop doing them. So, you know, I thought I would throw them in here and there. And this morning, when I was playing in the craft room, I was making mistakes and doing all kinds of things. And I was thinking about how my lives are truly live. I don't necessarily plan out my cards too much. Sometimes I'll think of a technique, but for the most part, I just wing it and ask you guys to chime in, and I make mistakes and stuff. And I found a quote that I thought was perfect, not just for me, but for all of you out there, about being inspirational. And the quote is, there's no need to be perfect to inspire others. Let people get inspired by how you deal with your imperfections. And I love that, because that is, I mean, we're all imperfect, right? We're perfectly imperfect. So today there might be some mishaps and stuff, but I know you guys will roll with it and still find inspiration in this technique. All right, so I've got some masking magic here, and this is something that I definitely want to use today. I'm also going to use a couple other things for masking. I'm going to use just some plain old Post-it notes. If you don't have Post-it notes, don't worry. You don't have to use them. You can use masking magic instead, or you can just use a piece of copy paper and maybe tape it down on the sides. And then I'm also going to use some washi tape, this skinny washi tape. Now, if you don't have skinny washi tape, that's okay. You can cut masking magic into really skinny strips, and it'll be just about the same. These are actually 1/8 of an inch strips. Let me get my paper cutter over here. I basically just cut them down to match these little 1/8 of an inch increments. So, you know, you can do that as well if you don't have this skinny washi tape. So whatever you have that works, use it. You don't have to run out and get anything. But I do highly recommend, if you don't have Masking Magic in your collection, next time you buy something for a release or whatever, and you need to get over that free shipping mark, or you need to get over that $75 mark to get the free set, add a pack of this in. You will not be disappointed. All right, so those are the 3 ways I'm going to use some masking today. And then let me grab my die cutting machine, because we're going to first die cut a couple panels. So I'm going to cut a couple of these because I think I'm going to have time to make more than 1 card today. We'll see, but I will be prepared while I have the machine out, and I will cut a couple. So once again, I'm going to use the Master Layouts 2 die set for this, and I'm going to cut this heavier base weight cardstock using the stitched rectangle. Now, again, if you don't have the heavy base weight, or you're conserving that for card bases, I totally get it. Go ahead and use 80-pound cardstock. That's totally fine. I'm using this because I liked how thick it felt for like a card base. I mean, for like a postcard, but also because, to be 100% on the level here, I am out of my 80-pound in my craft room. So I just grabbed this one, and we're going to make it work. It's actually a little sturdier to show on camera too. Okay, I'm going to cut another one of these. Ugh. This is harder to get through the die cutting machine, that's for sure. But if you do it on an angle, you'll have a little bit of better luck. And then I like to just run my finger, not my finger, because you'll get a paper cut, but my fingernail down the side. This way, if there's any little scraps of white, shards of white, you can get those off easily. Okay, let me cut one more, just because, you know, there could always be an accident or an incident. We want to have a backup plan. Welcome, everyone. It's so great to see all of you coming in. Today we're having fun with stencils. I can never, ever, ever not have fun with stencils. And I know a lot of you guys are the same way, but sometimes I just forget that I have them, and I get so involved with stamps and other techniques that I forget. And then I go back to them and I'm like, why don't I use these all the time? So, okay. So while the machine is out, let's cut a black piece of cardstock with the single stitch rectangle from Master Layouts 2. Yes, some washi tape, you're right, Barb. Some washi tape is very sticky. So you do tap it on your shirt first, or your clothing, or you know, maybe a piece of paper towel. I'm wearing a really slick kind of shirt today, so that's not going to help a whole lot. So I'll probably tap it on my jeans. What is the dimension of that die? I don't have Master Layouts 2. Okay, Kathy. So the stitched one is 3 3/4 by, I'm sorry, 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then the black piece that I just cut up is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. So I hope that helps. And if you forget, or you ever want to know, you can always go onto our website and look up the product. All the measurements are in the description of the product. So if you're trying to duplicate it, you can always go there. Okay, so let's start with this piece here, and I'm going to get my paper cutter out here, and I'm going to get some Masking Magic. So, let's see. Debbie, I haven't done a video tour of my new location yet. No, I haven't. I've posted pictures from it, but I haven't done an actual video tour. Okay, so in our last video, we used 3/8 of an inch strips. For this one, I'm going to use 1/2 inch strips. So I am cutting 1/2 inch strips. I'm sorry, 1/4 inch strips. Whew, 1/4 inch. So the best way to do this is to start at an even number, right? So I've got it at 5. Start at an even number. Make sure that it is absolutely even, and it is. Cut that little string off there. We'll throw that. And then I'm just going to go down to the 4 3/4 inch mark, and I'm going to cut that. So that gives me a 1/4 inch strip. Then I'm going to go down to the next 1/4 inch, which is the 4.5 inch mark. I'm going to do the same thing. And in the, to save some time, I'm just going to cut 8 of them instead of 4 of them. This way, if we get time to make a second one, we'll have all the strips already cut and we won't have to go back to this process. Now you can reuse these strips. The only thing that I caution is the ink takes a little longer to dry on the Masking Magic. And so if it's not dry, and also because it's a water-based ink, sometimes when you re-ink it, it kind of activates the ink that's already on there. So just be careful, maybe use the same colors and put it on the same way. Otherwise, just cut some new strips. All right, so I think I have 8 after this one. So I've got 8 1/4 inch strips there. Let's hope, yes. Okay, so now I'm going to put that aside and let's zoom in a little bit so that you can see. It's okay if you're late, Diane. There's always the replay too, but you haven't missed anything really. I just cut 1/4 inch strips here. So, okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to peel the liners off of this Masking Magic. And I'm going to place them right along the edge. I'm really digging this technique, and if you like this technique, definitely check out Monday's video too, because I did a totally different style card with this same kind of technique. Okay. You know what? I'm going to just move this one. I see it, and it just isn't perfect. So there we go. Okay. But I'm trying not to worry about perfection, right? The quote today, I'll add that quote into the description here on YouTube as well. I like that quote. Somebody asked to make it into a stamp, so maybe we'll consider that. Okay, so there we go. We're doing the second one. Again. I'm only trying to be a little bit perfect with this part because I don't want the color to go over the edge too much.
Can you use terrific tape for that?
No, do not use terrific tape. Terrific tape is permanent tape. It's going to be really good for building boxes and gift card holders and, you know, putting it and for embossing and things like that. But you will not be able to pull terrific tape up once you put it down. It is a permanent tape. But Masking Magic is the ticket for this. Okay, there we go. And you can see I have this on a piece of cardstock because I like to be able to turn it as I go. Yeah, you know, I like to kind of build on a technique too. So I'm glad that you guys are putting up with the fact that this part is the same. It's kind of fun to learn something and then find a whole other way to use the same technique. Okay, there we go. It should be good. Okay, so there we have our borders taped off there. Now, I'm going to use some, where did it go? Here it is. Some of this skinny washi tape. Again, I could use the Masking Magic, but the problem is on screen too, it's really hard to see this, all this white. So this washi tape will be a nice contrast for you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap this on my jeans first to try to take some of the stickiness off. And then I'm going to place it on an angle just like this. And I'm not like pressing down super hard. I'm just using it to block, if that makes sense. I'm going to get another piece. I have so much washi tape, guys. I don't use my washi tape nearly enough. Now I'm going to put this one on an angle like this. Okay, just lightly tack it down. And this might tear the Masking Magic, but hopefully it won't tear the cardstock. We're going to be gentle when we peel it up. Very gentle. So let's see. Where on YouTube do you get the colors? Okay, so Ruth, if you go back to my YouTube channel and you click on videos, you will see a thumbnail for this card later that will be the actual picture of the card. You'll see that. Then you click into that video and then there's a description underneath the video. And that's where I put all the colors that I use and all the other fun things that you need to know, which stamp sets, die sets. All right, I'm going to move this one down a little bit like this. And even though these don't have to be perfectly even, they absolutely do not have to be perfectly even. I still want it to be a little more even because I want to have enough space to stencil. Okay, like that. Maybe I'll move this one down a little bit. So you can, play with it a little bit and find that perfect kind of spacing for you, whatever you want that to look like. This one I'm going to move to down a little bit.
Question about the purple tape.
Purple
what
tape.
happened to the purple tape?
Well, we carry purple tape. We must be out of it. And I'm not sure what they're doing with it either. They might be reformulating it. I'm not sure.
Jan was curious why you're not using it.
Oh, why I'm not using purple tape? Oh, purple tape. I mean, my purple tape is super thick. So I'm trying to get very skinny little lines. And I don't want to go through the process of trying to trim that down. I'd rather trim the Masking Magic down if I'm going to do that because it has a liner on the back. Okay, so here's where the Post-it notes come in. So I'm going to start with a Post-it note, and I'm going to just block this off here, okay, like that. Then this is a great time to choose a bunch of fun stencils. So here's some of the stencils that I chose for at least this first card. This Fizzy stencil is really fun. This water droplet one. Something with smaller patterns, Harvest Flourish. I'm using thick brush. And of course, I'm using this sunshine one. I used this in my last 5-minute card video. And I love this one. This one's always sitting out on my desk. You can always find something fun to do with it. So let me pull these out of the bags. And I'm storing these in our stencil pockets. And I just use a label maker to label what it's called. You can see my little labels up here. And then I just throw them into a refrigerator bin or one of these fun little boxes that you always see behind me that I got I got it at home, but I also posted a link to them in the things I love. Okay, so let's start with this top one here. So the top one, I think I'm going to use the Harvest Flourish. So I'm going to lay that down just like that. Okay. And then I'm not going to go in rainbow order. I'm going to be kind of messy. I mean, some of it might be rainbow order, but we'll see. So I'm going to start with turquoise. So I'm going to use some Turquoise Sea for this. All right. So let me ink up my brush with some Turquoise Sea. Let me get my ink stands. Put them here. It makes it easier for me. Okay. So I'm going to ink that up. Okay. Move this out of the way. There we go. Now I'm just going to hold this in place. Of course, you could use purple tape to tape it down if you want. And I'm going to go ahead and ink through that. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to lift this stencil up, and then I'm going to go back over it again with a light touch on my brush just to fill in the color. So there's no white space. I've got that bright turquoise sea and then almost like a sea glass color behind it. Okay. So that's my first one. Now I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to just put this up here to block that off. And I'm going to get another one and I'm going to put it down here. Okay. Then I'm going to use the Sunshine stencil next. So this is, I'm going to just do this kind of on an angle like that. So it just gives a little bit of the sun and then all the rays. So for this one, I'm going to use some wild dandelion. Let's get that out. Okay. Wild dandelion. I'm just going to hold it in place. Here we go. And then this one I probably should have taped down, but I'm going to be careful not to move it. So tape, if you're going to use something like this, tape it down because I'm going to use some sweet mango as well on here. Let me just peek. Yep. Okay. So I'll get my orange brush, get a little sweet mango on there, and then I'll just blend that in just to create that orangey part there. Okay. So now I'm going to go back with my yellow brush again, and I'm going to fill all of that in so that, again, there's no white space. You get a lot of yellow in there, but you still see the rays. So you're kind of doubling up on the yellow color, if that makes sense. So now let's use this one to block this off. Okay, now I'm going to use a new one. Just because it's kind of wet. Once it dries, you can reuse it, but we'll just use new ones for the sake of this project. And then I'm putting one down here. So the next stencil I'm going to use is Fizzy. I really want to use the bubbles. So let me do that one in green. So we'll get Fizzy on here. And then I'm going to use Jelly Bean Green for this one. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Okay, and we'll get some nice Jelly Bean Green dots. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with that same brush, and I'm going to fill it all in with green again. And I am putting pressure on this, but, you know, everywhere that there's a green dot is just getting darker. Okay. So now, let's take that off. Take that off. Isn't this coming out fun? I love it. It's so much fun. So now I'm going to go outside of my typical rainbow, because normally I do turquoise, but I'm going to do blue denim for this next color. And I'll put a little post-it note here. And again, once these post-it notes dry, you can go back and reuse them, especially if you're making the same card. So for this one, I'm going to use the water droplet stencil. Do that. Let me get a dark blue brush. Here we go. Get a little blue denim on there. I'm going to rub that off. I don't want it to be super dark. Oh, that kind of matches the post-it note. That's pretty. Blue denim is an underrated color. I don't use it enough, so I'm the one that underrates it. Okay, and now I'm going to go back with the brush again and fill all of that in. That just softens everything so much too when you fill it in. So I could go really bright here with like a pink, or I could kind of stay in these more muted tones. And I think I'll stay in the muted tones. I've got a bunch of ink pads out here, but I think the next one will be purple. I'm going to use Wild Lilac for this. And I'm going to just do that one there. I don't care about down here because I don't have another color down here. So look at my mess. So thick brush would be a fun one to use. I'll use that one down here. It's similar to the water droplet, but still different enough. As long as it's a different pattern, that's all that matters. Okay, so I'm going to get some Wild Lilac in here. There we go. And then, once again, I'll fill that all in with the purple. You want to fill it in too because you have those beautiful borders, those white borders around the outside, and you want that to be able to shine. Okay, here we go. Okay, now let me move my post-it notes out of the way and put my ink out of the way. Now we're going to take the washi tape off. So I'm going to be very gentle here, taking this washi tape off. There we go. Just go slow and it'll come off just fine. See how it tore the masking magic? That's okay. We don't care about that. That's coming off too. All right, we'll do this one. Ooh. Yes. This one is Wild Lilac down here, not Wild Wisteria. Okay, I'm just being gentle. I did kind of press down on this washi tape with my blending brush and my stencil, so, you know, there's always that little bit of scariness when you're pulling it off. But again, we're not going to worry about perfection. We're going to inspire with imperfection. Okay, so all the washi tape is off. That's good. That's the part I'm scared of because the masking magic is so gentle. Now let's take the masking magic off and see how pretty this is. I feel like it's not done until we get this off. Okay, there's one. There's two. Just being gentle. 3. And 4. Okay. Isn't that fun? Look at that. That is so fun. And you could do it in either direction. So if you wanted to make your card this way, you could. If you wanted to make it this way, you can. Either way. So this is so fun. Like this would be a really fun box of cards to make for somebody. Just different fun patterns like this in different color combinations. And then just put a big die cut greeting right across. Something simple like hello, grateful, thankful, something like that. Enjoy, congratulations, things like that. They're so easy to make these. And it's so fun because each one is going to be a little bit different depending on the stencils that you use. So let's complete this card and then we'll do one in autumn colors and we'll give them both away today. So we'll finish up this card by, of course, we're going to use black today on this one. If I make an autumn one, I'll use brown, I promise. Okay. And these are kind of just fun with no greeting on them too. So if you're, if you're mojo-less, you have no mojo, you don't know what to make, just make a bunch of these panels. And then, mount them on your cardstock, maybe even put them on a card base. And then you can decide what to do with them later. You could put another die cut greeting on there. You could put a circle, something like this kind of thing if you want, although it does hide a little bit, but you could put something like that on there with a big greeting in it. You could use one of the greeting flags. So many ideas. Let's pop this on a card base. I think white is the card base of choice today because we don't want to take away from all this gorgeous color, right? Okay. So we'll put that on there. And then let's cut out the big hello die and we'll just put that right across. So I'm going to put this aside for now. And we'll cut out a hello. Wow, that's close. Sorry, guys. If you're watching on a big screen, that is like a truck size embossed die cutting machine. So sorry about that. Okay. Let's cut this out with black. Let me find the hello die again. I just put it somewhere. You guys know, right? You put something down, it's gone. And we're going to cut it on its back, laid side up. Put the black cardstock on top. And again, with these more intricate pieces, I like to cut them on one side or the other. All right. Well, that's falling out pretty nicely. So no problem cutting that. Let's see, can we just pop it out? Yep, we can. Here we go. Okay, so you can see, just throw that right across the center of the card. And I love the sunshine in there. I think every card should have sunshine. So I'm just going to put that aside. You guys get the idea. You don't have to watch me glue it down right now. If we have time at the end, I will glue it down. Yes, vellum would be beautiful to put a little vellum over that word too. That would be nice too. Okay, so, all right. let's make one more in autumn colors. We'll use those really beautiful autumn colors and maybe a couple different stencils. So autumn, I have some other stencils here. I pulled out all the ones I thought would work. I thought this mega flower would be pretty. I also think this making waves one would be cool, and also the daisy chain, because these are kind of like, I don't know, they look like fall flowers to me. I see a lot of orangey and purple flowers that kind of have that shape. So we could use these, or maybe just use these two. Let's use these two. And then let's add the autumn flourish, the harvest flourish. Oh my gosh, I don't even know the names of these things. I'm going to clean this one though, because I don't want blue to transfer. So the way I'm going to clean it is I'm just going to spritz it with a little water since I don't have a sink here. And just clean it that way, get that blue off. I definitely want to use the sunshine one again because I think we need a sunshine in the fall. So let me clean that one. That's the, this is the long version of making cards. Well, that has some pixie spray on the back there. So, okay. And let's use one more. Let's use the dots again. The dots are so fun. But we'll use warm colors this time. And I'll put these two away for cleaning later. Okay. So let's get back in here, get a little closer up. And if you guys are just joining us, here's the last card that we just made. This one here. I haven't put the greeting yet, but this is the technique. Okay. So let me find another piece of that. And then I've got, so this is the Master Layouts 2. Again, if you're just joining us. And I've cut 1/4-inch strips of Masking Magic. So let's, this is the hardest part. We're going to use some really pretty colors for this one. Some of my faves. Make sure that this is the part where you want to take a little extra time because you want your perimeter of your card to be nice and even. Sherry, I clean my stencils just by taking them to the sink and rinsing them off. If I'm using a really crazy color like a bright red or a deep blue, sometimes I will use a little Gina K Design stamp cleaner on it to get rid of any residue that's on there of color. But for the most part, I just take them to the sink and use a little warm soapy water and just pat them dry. Yeah, fall's great except for the raking leaves. You must have a lot of leaves, Lori, huh? Our house, our house was new. We actually had purchased a newer house when my mom was going to come live with us because it had a full bath on the first floor and we knew she couldn't do the steps. So we have very young trees. So we only have a handful of leaves. They're not even worth raking. You just do one last mowing and they're gone. Oh. Winnie, we're not going to have a sale real soon because we have a new release coming out. We usually, probably our next big sale is going to be Black Friday. So stay tuned for that. Okay. All righty. There we go. And we are having a release on Monday night, a brand new release. So I got to look at that. Does that look straight? Does this one look weird? Let's just check this one. It might be the way it is at the top. I think it's fine, but there we go. I did promise after the live today that I would start showing sneak peeks of our next release, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so I'm using this skinny washi tape. Again, you can use skinny pieces of Masking Magic if you prefer. I cut one there. That is a 1/8 of an inch strip. This is 1/8 of an inch washi tape. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to just tack that down lightly. I'm not putting pressure on the washi tape. There'll be enough pressure on it from the stencils. Oh, I've never tried cleaning my stencils with Murphy's oil soap. That's interesting. If that works. All right. Here we go. Just a couple more. And I'm tapping this off on my jeans first to make it less tacky. Although if I was wearing a sweater, it would be much better. And then one more. And don't worry if your lines aren't straight or even. You'll notice on my sample that my lines are not perfect. I went back and adjusted them a little bit because they were really kind of wonky, but some of them are going to have bigger openings than others, and that's just fine. That's what makes it more whimsical. Okay, so let's start again. Let's start with, let's do making waves up at the top. And I'm going to use a Post-it note again. I'm just going to Post-it note that off. Now, here's some colors I picked. I thought we could do vintage. What is this? No. Prickly pear is what I'm thinking of. Honey mustard. I was going to say vintage pear. Prickly pear, honey mustard, sweet mango, warm cocoa, and plum punch. I think that'll be fun. I'm still up in the air about the warm cocoa, but I think if I get it in the middle, it won't be so bad. It might be a little dark. Maybe I'll pick one more. Maybe a green would be better, because the one thing about fall, I know it's pretty, but the one thing about fall is they're still green. You know, it's a mix. There's green leaves and there's colored leaves. So we want to make sure, I know green's a color, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. So let's lay that over there. We'll get the swirls. Should we get the swirls? No, let's get the swirls going this way. And we won't make them perfectly straight. So let's start at the top with, I am going to keep honey mustard and prickly pear separate. So let's start with honey mustard. And I think I'm going to use, I have a blending brush that might be a little more conducive to honey mustard. I think I'm going to use this one. This was just laying around. Okay, so we'll start with honey mustard at the top. If you have an autumn leaves stencil, by all means use it. That's on the Gina K Designs to-do list, because we need a leaf stencil and we don't have one. But it's coming. Eventually it's coming. I've got Alicia working on stencils like crazy. Okay, I love this stencil. So now remember, we're going to go back and fill in again, because you want to have that complete color to the edges to really make that border stand out. Okay, so that's good for that one. I'll see if I can use this again. I might be able to. I really want to make the sunshine here again. I like that spot for the sunshine. I just like the angle of it. So let's go back and do the sun again. And again, that angle, kind of getting those longer rays coming up this way. We'll start with, I'll use wild dandelion, and that'll be my sweet mango color too. Okay. You know, and even if you don't have like an autumn leaves stencil, don't worry about it, because you can achieve that autumn feel just with the colors that you use too. So, you know, you don't always have to have the right image. You just have to have the right feel. So again, I forgot to tape that down. I don't listen to myself. I hope you guys listen to me, because I don't listen to myself. All right, sweet mango. Get a little of that on there. We'll hold that down. Get some of that in there. That nice warm autumn sunset. Okay. And then we'll go back over it again with the yellow blending brush to fill in all the parts. It really warms it up too, doesn't it? Okay. Take that off. Ooh, I'm loving this combination already. Okay, the next color we should do is green. Let's do jelly bean green. And let's use the Harvest Flourish this time with the green. Now, for those of you that are rainbow lovers, you love to do the rainbow would be beautiful, going in rainbow order. Okay, so Harvest Flourish on there with the green. Okay. And if you missed any of this, of course, the replay is going to be live right after the video is done, so you'll be able to go back and watch the replay. And once you see the first one, you'll know how to do it, for sure. Okay, we'll take that off, and then we'll go back over it with more green to fill it in. And the green I'm using, again, is Jelly Bean Green, for those of you that are keeping track. I know a lot of you have a lot of our colors. You could also use Lucky Clover here, or if you wanted a deeper color, you could use Fresh Asparagus. And don't be afraid of trying this technique with really dark colors and then die cutting your greeting in white instead. So you could use a lot of those really dark colors you have. Okay, so now we're going to do the daisy, and let's do the daisies in Prickly Pear. And then we'll finish it off with the Plum Punch. Okay. So daisies, I'm going to use the same brush that I used the honey mustard. And I think I want to get the daisies to go like that, so we see a lot of flowery stuff there. Okay, Prickly Pear. I'll rub that off a little bit. Okay, here we go. Prickly Pear is similar to honey mustard with a little bit more green in it. And of course there's honey mustard left on this brush, so you guys know how that goes, right? Okay, let's fill in a little bit. Pretty. And then the last one will be Fizzy, which is fun stencil. I like just the difference in the designs too. So the last one will be Fizzy, and we'll do that in Plum Punch. Okay, I'm gonna clean this brush a little bit because this has a lot of wild lilac on it. So I'm gonna clean it on a paper towel off to the side here. Just wipe some of that purple off. Put that aside, I'll use that again. Let's get there we go. Plum Punch, here we go. Plum is such an overlooked autumn color too. Mixing it in with all those warm tones is just so beautiful. And then we'll go over it again, filling that all in. There we go. Okay, I can't wait to see this one. Oh, don't let me tear it. Don't let me tear it. Everybody hold your breath with me. Okay, so we're going to start by taking the washi tape off first. Gentle. Okay. These colors. Yeah, you have to fill it in. I think that really is what makes it look so good. If you don't fill it in, then you don't really notice the white lines going across. And I don't know. I love the fill in. And it softens the stencil a little bit too. So even if you're stenciling with these stencils, if you ever feel like there's too much white space, just go ahead and fill in over it once you take the stencil off. And it just calms everything down. Makes it more of a texture than just a stark white and color design. Okay. Alrighty, so again, we've managed to get that off. Now let's take these off. I worry so much less about masking magic. Such a perfect masking tape, masking paper. I love it so much. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, red would have been pretty, or a brick, something like that would have been really pretty too. So what do you think? Isn't that pretty? Ooh, I love that. So here's the first one, and then you can see, you know, that's more bright. This just has a little bit more of an autumn feel to it. Now this one I could do with the brown. Why don't I do that since we've got 10 minutes left? I'll go ahead and do the brown, and we'll cut the Grateful die out with brown. And I think that would be a nice autumn card. All right, so let me get my die cutting machine one more time. I went through all that. I cut all those black ones only to use brown. You see how fickle we are as card makers? But that's okay. That black one's not going to go to waste. You guys know that. Because I use black on just about every card. Even Wendy said, oh, so you're going to use one of the colors this time instead of black? And I said, no. All right. Tom, the background music's beautiful. Everybody's making such nice comments. I don't know if you can see that, but they're loving your music. Okay, so I'm going to cut the Grateful die out. Here's the Grateful die. Again, blade side up, off to one side. I'm going to use this same brown cardstock. The brown color I'm using is Chocolate Truffle. I need to get more charcoal brown. I don't have any of that here in my craft room right now. I'm out of a couple things, so I've got to replenish. I don't know if this will drop out. Ha ha, it did. So we'll just get the little Tim Holtz pokey tool. There we go. And there we go. We'll get that out. His craft pick is amazing. If you need a craft pick, the Tim Holtz retractable craft pick. I had craft picks before, but they didn't retract, and I stabbed myself so many times digging through drawers, and I love that you can just, you know, get rid of that. Okay, there we go. And if any part isn't perfectly clean, just, there we go. All right, Grateful. Let me get this out of the way. We got the brown panel cut, so we should be ready to assemble both of these cards now. Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys, what you do with this. It'll be beautiful to see the inspiration coming through over in our Facebook group. I love when you guys try these techniques and then you share your versions of them and what colors you used. It's always so exciting. So please do that. And then for those of you who watch here on YouTube, I'll be posting high quality pictures of these cards on the community tab. On my tape, on the community tab of my YouTube channel, so you can see a high quality picture. For those of you that are in our Facebook group, I'll be posting them over there and also on our Facebook page. And if you are watching on YouTube, I'd love it if you'd give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I've started a new series called 5-Minute Cards, and I've been trying to get one a week. Can't always promise that, but trying to do one a week. And they're really fun too. And you'll always get a notification. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Why blade side up? And I'll get to that in just one sec. So you'll always get a notification when a new video goes up if you subscribe and you hit the notification bell. Okay, so I cut blade side up whenever it's an intricate die. I don't know why it works, but it always works. If I have a die that, you know, gives me a little bit trouble because it's too intricate, if I flip it on its back and I put the cardstock on top, I always get a great cut. So that's why I do it. And always one side of your die cutting machine versus right down the center. And give it a try and see if it works for you. I've had people in my group say, I didn't even think that would work. And I tried it because there was a die that I had just given up on and it worked really well. So if there's any dies you struggle with to get all the little details cut, try that. blade side up, cardstock on top, and just one side of the die cutting machine. Okay, so I'm using just this scrap of paper in case the glue gets anywhere. And we're going to put this one put it right across the center here and a little bit on an angle, just because that's fun. There we go. Okay, so there is the hello card. And now we'll do the grateful card real quick. And then we're going to give both of these away, Tom.
Yes. Just chilling out on a Wednesday afternoon.
You are?
We all are.
We all are, yeah. The music's nice. It's so relaxing. Takes my blood pressure down a couple 100 points. I'm still recovering from your bald cap yesterday. That was quite a look into the future.
Quite
You
the
and I.
blood pressure.
Okay. All right. So now we've got the grateful one. And I think I'll just put that right across the center like that. I love how bendable these dies are because you could kind of curve them around things and stuff because they're so intricate. Okay, so there are today's cards. That is a fun technique. I hope you guys think it's fun and I hope you'll give it a try. Super fun. All right, so Tom, let's get you and I in. Yeah, there we are. Thank you for the music today again.
Fun.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to give away these two cards today. Let's see. So should we start with the hello one, the first one that I made? We're going to give this one away. And for those of you that are new here, we always give the cards away now on our lives that I make. And the way that you get into the drawing is just by making a comment sometime during the live. So if you made a comment, then you get a chance to win. And then all you have to do is send your name and your address and which card you won over to info@ginakdesigns.com. And I will sign it and get it right out to you. So, okay, let's start with this hello fun stencil design.
Okay, drum roll, please.
Okay, who gets it?
That card goes to Christine Thatner.
Christine, yay! Congratulations, Christine. Woohoo! All right, Christine, this is coming your way. And then who is going to get the grateful card?
The grateful
autumn
card.
Design. I like this, kind of look like a hill too. I like that.
Grateful card goes to Linda O'Keefe.
Linda! Yay, Linda! Woohoo, Linda! Okay, and like I said before, just send your name and your address over to info@ginakdesigns.com and make sure you say whether you won the hello card or the grateful card, and then I will get that right out to you. All right, everybody. Well, this has been so much fun. It's always fun to be with you guys, and thank you all so much for joining us. We love seeing you. We love reading all your comments, and we love these special hours that we get to spend together. We'll be back on Monday night with another live video, and that's going to be our release party video. So it's our holiday release. We also have some non-holiday stuff because some of you already started your cards back in July. So we've got some non-holiday stuff, and we've got a very special master layouts coming. I'm really excited about that one. All right, everyone. So we'll be back on Monday night at 7 p.m. for our release party, 7 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.